The tensions continue to rise between Canada and India as both Modi and Justin Castro Trudeau have decided to pause diplomacy between the two nations. Two crazy governments, two crazy leaders are fighting in public, and ordinary people in Canada and India are going to be suffering because of this. All right, so what's happening here? As you guys must have heard, the last couple of days have been quite chaotic, and as we've been talking about this as well here and of course on social media, one of the main reasons is what happened in June, a few months ago, when tensions started to escalate because of a so-called Sikh leader, according to Canada, or if you listen to India, an extremist, militant extremist, who was killed. And the whole thing escalated because of that, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Now, the Canadians say he was a Canadian citizen, and of course he was a Sikh leader. That's what they say, right? But according to the Indian intelligence, they are saying that, well, the man was a terrorist, but he was killed on Canadian soil. So Canada blames India. Now, this has been going on for a few months now, a couple of months. Between the two sides. The problem we now have is that the he said she said nonsense, or he said nonsense, it's now escalated into what's happening on social media and between ordinary people, Canadians and Indians. So one of the problems we now have is we're going to talk about the escalation, what the two countries are doing, because trade talks have been paused and a number of other issues as well. First, let's go to Justin Castro Trudeau
has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government. Last week at the G20, I brought them personally and directly to Prime Minister Modi in no uncertain terms. Any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation.
Anyway, that's the accusation from Trudeau's side. India denied it, but then India also said, wow, if we could, we would have done it because he's on our enemy list. We're like, well, fair enough. But it's a little bit illegal on an international level. But yesterday, the update was that both countries started to expel the diplomats from each side. Initially, Canada expelled Indian diplomats, and then India retaliated. Then India called these accusations absurd and motivated. Not really sure what the motivation is, but there could be something behind the scenes. India also complains that Canada has not done enough regarding the Sikh separatists, because they see them as enemies of India, because they want isolation or separatism, whatever. Well, they want independence, right? So there's a huge chunk of tribes right now in India who want independence, from northeast to southwest and every side. But most of it is, of course, the southwestern side. But one main issue that we now have is the latest update on this, which is today. Canadians have decided to pause the trade talks with India and have issued travel advice. I don't understand what's going on here, because it seems to be a bit of an over-exaggeration. So I'm not really blaming those who say this could again be a distraction tactic, smoke and mirrors, because it's a bit of an overreaction to what the accusation is saying. I mean, considering that the West, especially Britain, accused Putin, for example, or Kremlin, of doing similar things in Salisbury and a number of other places as well, right? On British soil, taking out assassinate people. We didn't do any of that then. And it happens all the time, by the way. Different countries do to each other. What happened between Canada and India that has resulted in Trudeau actually taking action and India also retaliating? So there could be something more behind this. But I did do some digging and I found out some new information about the guy, Hardeep, because National Post actually confirmed this, the update on the Hardeep Nijjar. Nijjar was using a fake passport and false identity in the name of Ravi Sharma. He was arrested in Toronto airport in 1997. He immediately filed for asylum and claimed a victim of Indian police harassment. 11 days later, after his asylum was rejected, he married a British Columbian woman who sponsored him for immigration. Smart. When authorities found that the marriage was basically fake, they rejected his immigration application, but still, Hardeep Singh Nijjar was not deported somehow. If he was a Canadian citizen, then how he obtained he obtained his citizenship, right? Hardeep Singh Nijjar became chief of the terror outfit Khalistan Tiger Force, or the KTF, in Canada. Nijjar was allegedly involved in several incidents, a lot of killings of people and targets, but obviously in June, on the 18th of June this year, he was taken out on Canadian soil. Now, according to what we know, the accusations about the guy, yeah, he was a bit of a baddie. But his target was mostly India. He was also a dodgy character to have false identity to enter Canada illegally. So that's also a different issue. But does that actually confirm that India was behind it? India had the motivation, absolutely. But were they behind it, or did something else happen? And Canada wants to point fingers at India because it's an easy target. So let me know your theories. We don't know anything yet about the actual true motives, but we know the updates on the reaction from both sides could be easily a distraction tactic from something much bigger than what we are seeing in the media. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.